What is going on, guys? You're listening to the Realest podcast, and welcome to the relaunch of End Game. And I am joined. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. We have two new voices, and we actually have a special guest. One of our voices is sick, so hopefully he gets the feeling better. That way we can see him next week, or you guys can hear him next week. So let's have these guys introduce themselves. Go ahead. Whoever wants to talk first, go ahead.
What's up, guys? Colby here. Hope you enjoy the show.
All right.
What's up, Dexter Willingham, straight out of Starbucks. Right here ready to help out.
Yes, he is actually in Starbucks right now. He upgraded from McDonald's internet the other day. No, I'm joking. So today we have some pretty good topics. A lot of topics that we should have talked about a couple weeks ago, but a lot of stuff has happened. If you guys have not listened to the update video, I'm basically going to put up a rundown without really bashing anyone. We basically had Josh leave the show for some pretty outrageous reasons. So we basically had to rebrand it. Tom really didn't have any interest in it. I think it was one of those things that he saw the idea and he, was like, oh, this should be fun. But then he realized, it's going to be something that's going to be a lot of work and a lot of, time and effort in. And then he kind of lost interest. So we had to rebrand everything. So now, our two voices, now Colby Havard and Tom Adams. So you'll hear Tom next week, but this is going to be the rebrand. So let's just start it off. Battlefield 1 was announced when? When was the date?
Oh God,
couple weeks ago.
At least, yeah.
October is the specified date.
That's for release. We're talking about
release
announcement.
is October 21st.
Announcement was no more than 4 weeks ago, so no more than a month.
Yeah,
it was definitely last month. It was around,
So
go ahead.
on, Blake.
No,
okay.
Go ahead.
So Battlefield 1 surprised everyone. Through the teaser trailer, it went both ways with the image. People were assuming futuristic, and some people were thinking World War II. Well, EA and DICE kind of threw us a curveball. They went to alternative history World War I. Me being a history guy doesn't bother me. And I don't think it bothers a lot of people. Looking at the Battlefield 1 subreddit, a lot of people are enjoying it. A lot of people are, talking in really big discussion. So, something that being playing other games, having this feature I want both of your opinions. What would you think about animations of entering and exiting vehicles instead of just teleporting into them like the previous?
You can go first, Dexter.
Well, that one will be a hard thing to do, considering how really it was a lot more of a struggle to get into these tanks. Because, yes, it was easier because you just had a door, but also you had to climb over shells, all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be interesting seeing that kind of thing. I personally don't think that they're going to do it. I think they want to stick with the normal animations for you just get teleported into the driver's seat.
Yeah. Which that's what a lot of people are saying is they don't want it. So, Blake, your opinion?
I think that should just be something that's in the campaign.
The
reason why is, if you're trying to climb into a tank and you have to go through the full animation, either you're going to have two things happen. Either it makes it where you can't be shot, or you'll be shot. And it's going to be annoying for both sides for both reasons. If you're killing someone, it's one of those frustrating kills, and all he has to do is climb into a tank or climb into a Humvee. That's kind of like, oh my god, really? Like that's so annoying. But then again, if you're trying to get into a tank and you have that one sniper who's just sniping everyone off spawn, and as soon as you're trying to get in, he just pops you. It's like, man, like this is ruining my experience. So I think that's something that should stay in the campaign.
Right, okay.
Something else that I see with that is it would become kind of like the same problem. I've seen people abuse it in Battlefield 4 where, when you go into the knife animation, the person being knife is invincible. He can literally drop a claymore and wait for someone to sneak up and knife him.
Oh, good
I've
point.
seen people do that. It can be horribly abused if they go for the "you cannot be died" while getting into a tank.
Right. So the knifer can be killed, but the knifey can't. Okay.
In fact,
I see that.
I just saw a video of a guy who dropped down C4 trying to kill himself and killed a guy knifing him.
Oh wow. Okay. So other thing, it's not really a topic, but so let me get the date. I can find the date again. I'm sorry. I should have had this up before.
No,
Patient.
I agree with you though, Dexter. Like the whole it's just for me, multiplayer is a lot of what I play. So anything that can be unnecessary frustrations, I don't think need to be in the game, especially in the multiplayer aspect. Like I think if they were to add that, it's cool for like the game itself because it's like we're 100% realistic. This is not something that we're going to just we're 100% realistic. We're not gonna have it where you're gonna teleport in and out, but the whole killing and non-killing aspect of getting into a tank, it's I don't know. They need to have it level and they need to have it what's the word I'm looking for, balanced.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
found the date. So all these us Battlefield fans that have been waiting for the announcement and people that have have speculations of gameplay, all of your questions will be answered June 12th at 2 p.m. Pacific time. That is when the multiplayer live stream will be aired.
That's
So
it's
tune in
E3.
then. That is E3.
Oh, and I just found something out about that. I was watching one of Stone Mountain 64's videos. He's going to be leading one of the teams during the live stream.
Yes, he is, Team Stone. I was looking at that just a few minutes ago, so I will definitely be tuning into that, and stay tuned to Endgame, and we will definitely cover that.
Yeah. So
So,
I'm wanting to ask a question here because we haven't gotten our actual reactions to the trailer. Again, we've only recorded one episode, and that was before we actually recorded that before Battlefield launched. So,
yeah.
what was y'all's general reaction to the trailer? And before y'all answer, Colby, you were one whenever I was talking to you. You were, man, I'm not looking forward to this. I'm not even going to look at it because it's going to be a waste of time. I can't support this. And now you're, by the looks of it or the sounds of it, you're kind of really backing it up and kind of into it.
I am, because at first, before I saw the trailer, whenever I heard alternate World War One, I was thinking something almost as time travel, where it was modern style weapons in a World War One setting. But then I got and did a little digging, and this is all just speculation, by the way, guys. It's starting to look like it'll be all of the European and American nation against the Ottoman Empire. That's just speculation because we have seen in the trailer where there has been English and American soldiers going up against Germans, so I don't really know how it's going to work, but it is alternate history. But like I said, I don't really know how it is because just the trailer itself hasn't really given it away. It looks more historically accurate, other than, yes, there will be less trench warfare than there was in World War One, but I can see why. No one wants to just sit at a trench and snipe people from across the field. That would just be very boring gameplay.
Well, I want to say not everyone. I personally wouldn't mind that. I'm a big simulator guy, though.
Yes,
so.
you are. You are a very big simulator. So
I'm also a major thing on the historics of the guns and the guns that they'll be using. From what I'm seeing, they're going to be using a lot more fully automatics in this than actually in World War One. That were actually fielded in World War One, where multiple people will be having an automatic, where you normally would just be a crew of machine gunners.
Yeah. You'd
like
see
an
a squad
entire
of
crew
riflemen.
machine gunners. But I think that's going to be. I think that it's going to be balanced. I think that they need that to keep their kind of battlefield flair.
Right.
And because it's alternate World War One, it looks kind of good. And something on what you were saying about Germans versus American and British is I can kind of see how they can do that in the trailer and then just say, hey, that's going to be the multiplayer.
Right, but the storyline be all of them against the Ottomans? Is that what you're hinting towards?
Yeah,
or
because
guessing?
it's not going to be too much fun if it's in multiplayer. If it's just going to be everyone versus the Ottomans as well.
True. Yeah, I could see that, and that could very well be it because, well, I don't know. The scene of you see the rider on the horseback, that's an Ottoman soldier, and that looked very cinematic. That didn't look like it would be something you see in the multiplayer, so that does make sense. That might be part of the campaign.
Yeah. Also, another thing that I noticed is when you see the Germans versus the Americans go head to head on the ground, you notice that it's the heroes that come in. As you were telling me earlier about the hero system.
Yeah, the hero system,
Uh,
guys. One sec, Dex. The hero system is back from Battlefront. And there's a lot of speculation. In the trailer, you see a big, heavily armored German soldier with an LMG or a flamethrower. My belief is that is going to be the hero. One of the heroes you can be in BF1. Now, how you obtain them, I have no idea. We'll have to wait till June 12th. But I think that'll be our hero system. Go on, Dexter.
well, one thing about the heroes, I hope that they don't do them kind of like, what is it, Battlefront? Where it's just a pick-upable thing. I hope it's actually given to someone who, does well in the game.
Yeah.
But another thing is, every time you see a major battle between, allies versus the Axis, or allies versus Central Powers in this case, you'd almost always catch a hero in there.
Right.
So that might be hinting mainly towards, the multiplayer online.
Right. So, go on, Blake.
I was gonna say my big opinion on the heroes is one thing they have to fix with the hero system from Battlefront is they have to add it where if you're not getting kills, your timer will go off. That's one of my biggest complaints with Star Wars Battlefront, and it really ruined my experience. If you want the God honest truth, is I don't know if it was with Colby or not, but remember playing a game on Hoth where you're playing Walker Assault, and the guy had Boba Fett. That's another thing. I don't understand why you could pick your hero on Hoth. I didn't like that, but that's not the point. He had maybe 1% of health left. He had 1% of health left, and all he did was hide in the back of the map and basically try to get snipe shots off, but he would not go out into battle. So, meaning, we would not get a hero token. But, of course, the other team gets hero tokens, and, that adds a new aspect to the game, and obviously we know killing a hero is not easy. So, when you have them getting 3 or 4 heroes, but we have one hero who's just staying in the back because he doesn't want to lose Boba Fett, it's really annoying. I think if you're going to add a hero system, you have to add a timer. If you're not getting kills, obviously, if you're getting kills, your timer adds up. But if you just sit there and you're not getting anything, I think that's when it's kind of like, okay, you're losing a certain amount of time.
What you're saying is like how in Battlefront 1, where say you got a Jedi character, over time,
2.
That's what Battlefront 2. Sorry about that. After you got a kill, your health bar replenished, but as long as you weren't getting kills, it slowly decayed. Is that what you're saying?
They need that, especially it can really destroy Battlefield 1 because let's say the guy you have is a crazy LMG or flamethrower guy, right? And he can change the aspect to an objective, or you're playing an objective game type. Let's just say Rush is back into the game, right? So right now the enemy is really, really strong in this area, and the guy with the flamethrower could easily change the game, but because he has 1% of health, he's just going to stay in the back of the map, and now you don't have a hero token, and all you have to do now is just hope that you're also a man down because the guy's staying in the back. So now you have to hope that everyone is on the same page to get into that building and to take every single one of those people out.
Right. Dexter, I think you were
is,
saying something.
Something about the hero system is I'm not a fan of, when you kill someone, you get more health. What I think that they should do is they should have a timer and health as a separate entity. So that way like when you get a kill, your health doesn't change, but it'll say like plus 10 seconds, plus 30 seconds.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because if you think about it, a flamethrower guy, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, flamethrowers are nasty things. I personally own one. If he goes in there, he'll ignite everything and anything on fire, and can get probably shit tons of kills. Especially if someone throws a grenade in there first, weakens everyone. Then he just walks in there and flames everyone.
Right.
He would almost have unlimited health. Because you would just get a kill.
You would obviously have a cap.
Yeah.
You would obviously have a cap.
Yeah, but still,
you would have a cap. But every time someone knackered him a little bit, he just had to flame somebody, and boom,
back to
all
full
your
health.
hard work
Yep.
is gone.
Yeah, I see that.
Well, but here's like a counter, and I'm not like disagreeing with you. That's a great point, but here's a counter or an argument for that. Whenever there is a hero token, it's not like the hero. I mean, it's not like the hero won't be focused. Like if once players see the hero, you're obviously going to see a lot of people like focus fire on him. And if it's a flamethrower guy, I mean, obviously the flamethrower guy is not going to be able to shoot them from a long range. Now you're saying, okay, if they're in a building, yeah, I get that. But I think that the whole focus fire and system and everything could work into that.
Oh yeah, I completely agree with you there. But my idea is where it can be abused. Like if we have an urban map or something like that, where you can't really get that big focus fire that you can normally get on like an open map.
Right.
And something about Battlefront is a lot of those maps were pretty damn open where you could get those cross shots and those large focus fires.
Yeah, true. You could. Oth, for example.
Yeah. Look. I think they need to get rid of the fact that with a hero token you can sit in the back of the map and just basically.
I completely agree with you. Or like it gets a faster inactivity thing, where
Yeah.
if you have to be moving, or limit him to the front lines. Like when you get a hero token, he can no longer go back into the spawn or something like that.
Yeah, limit his area. Which, if they do it with Rush, if Rush comes back with a hero, they can easily do that. So, another topic, we can come back to the hero thing, but I thought of this and it makes sense. The aerial combat. We've already seen that aerial combat will be a thing in Battlefield 1. I am hoping it doesn't become like Battlefield 4, where you can hop out of your plane just kind of hovers there, you can turn around while free falling, and shoot the plane, or pilot. Hopefully you can kill pilots out of these because, well, they were open cockpit planes, there was nothing protecting you. So it'd be cool to see if you could kill pilots out of planes, but I'm hoping you don't see where people jump out and as they're parachuting, kill someone out of their plane and then steal theirs. I don't want to see a James Bond effect.
So you're not a fan of the Renazuke, I take it?
No. I want to see legitimate aerial combat. I'm just a big, aerial combat kind of person. I'm always flying in games that allow you to fly.
Well, I'm right there with you. I'm a simulator buff, and I'm actually a real pilot. But the thing is, one of the things that drags me to the Battlefield series is that it does have those comical moments.
It is comical, I will say. When it happens, you're just like, wow, that good job. I feel it ruins it sometimes, though.
I also think that if you can pull that off, I think you deserve it.
Oh, no, definitely. It's just, these are, biplanes, planes made out of, linen, wood, and an engine, basically, and two machine guns.
These would be the ones that float like that, Colby.
They would be the ones that float. You're right, because they're so light. So
not only because they're so light, but because of the lift of their wings. I mean, yeah. I didn't really understand the jets and like the modern Battlefields doing that, but because like they all have those thin, almost laminar shaped wings, and and pretty much those would be bricks without their thrust.
Yeah, fair point. So yeah, I'm just interested to see where aerial stuff goes, and naval combat might make a return. First time we've seen naval combat since 1943.
Look, I'll say one thing about the aerial combat stuff, and this is like my only complaint, and it ruined my experience for Battlefield 4 because I think the whole flying a jet and fighting in the air is awesome. But one of my complaints is the fact that someone can shoot me as I'm taking off from the runway. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I think they need to get rid of where if you are in a aircraft, I think they need to make it where you can't even see their runway. Like obviously you can see where they're taking off from, but you can't see their runway to shoot them from their runway because you're obviously there's going to be pilots that are better than me. There's going to be a lot of people that are better than me at piloting. But my whole ordeal is I'm coming into this to have fun. Yeah, I'm probably going to die doing it, but I'm coming into this to have fun and have a good time flying. But when I can't even take off from the runway because, someone who plays every single day for 8 hours, 8 hours a day is destroying me from the runway, it's like, okay, well, I don't even want to play this game anymore.
So
Right,
what
I
you're
hear
saying
you.
is put like a natural terrain that infantry cannot cross, and that planes cannot fly over. So pretty much what you're saying is like put it out of the area of operations, and put a natural boundary like a mountain in front of it.
I have an even better idea. They could go back to how it was in Battlefield 2. Actually, more specifically, Project Reality mod for Battlefield 2. In maps that had airfields, the opposing team could not get close to the airfield without getting the return to battle notification and a 5-second counter. So if you didn't go back to your part of the map within 5 seconds, you died. So I believe they could do that.
Colby, I've seen people in Project Reality buzz airfields.
Yeah,
So that's not a perfect system. I think that they shouldn't take off at all. They should just spawn in the air. That's one way of dealing with the problem. It's a really lame way, but it's one way.
Yeah.
Or it'll be like there's an old Battlefield 3 map where the Russians get a spawn way back behind a lot of terrain and everything, and it was some port.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so like nothing could get over there except for an enemy aircraft and could, easily strafe them. But that generally didn't happen in Battlefield 3.
No, the jets normally stayed in the middle of the map, dogfighting. No one ever really went near an airfield.
Well, yeah, because because they had actually player man SAMs, and when it wasn't player, it was AI. I think that they should definitely buff those. That's
another
way to deal
thing
with
they
it.
could do to keep people from spawn killing or killing you while you take off is do kind of what Battlefield 4 did. Like, I know you didn't really play much of Battlefield 4, but something in Battlefield 4 is you air spawned when you were in a vehicle or in an aircraft. You spawned in the air already flying.
That's not true for a good amount of the DLC maps.
See, I never played DLC maps.
Yeah, you see the DLC maps. They like a lot of the Battlefield 3 maps that they brought in. A lot of the other old. They got kind of back to their Battlefield 3 style on a lot of their stuff, and they have a lot of airfields. But the original maps, yes, there was only spawn in the air.
What I think they could do, especially because the closest thing I've played to Battlefront, or not Battlefront, but Battlefield as of lately is Star Wars. I think one thing they should implement if they're going to add the whole you spawn in the air is make it where you have to fly into battle, and where the enemy aircraft it's out of bounds, and make it where it might suck that you have to fly for 5 to 7 seconds to the battlefield, but in the long run that's a lot better than to as soon as you're turning into control of your aircraft you're already getting shot at. I've done that to people in Star Wars Battlefront, and I've had that happen to me where as soon as they see my aircraft in the air, they are I'm already at 5% of health because I'm not even all the way around.
Yeah, you're still going through the cinematic.
So what you're saying is that kind of with in Battlefield the base for infantry, enemies can't enter your base.
Right.
What you're saying is to have that for the aircraft a little bit farther away.
Yeah. So I am going to, somewhat switch topics, still on Battlefield, but it's something that I believe Dexter will really enjoy. I want to talk about snipers. And main thing is I'm hoping DICE doesn't add anything more than a 4x magnification scope for sniper rifles. In World War I, Dexter actually told me this, those were really the only mass-produced scopes.
In fact, you were lucky to get a 4x. The majority of them were 3.5, ranging all the way down to the U.S. fielding a 1.5 times scope, all the way up to the Russians, I believe, first pioneering their PU scope at 3.5 times. And then you had the British with their I believe they had either a 3 or 4 times, and then the Germans, I think they had a 4 times.
Yeah, so. And something I was reading, most sniper rifles didn't come with scopes off the factory, they were field modifications, which means the soldiers themselves were the ones that had to mount the scope. Is that correct?
yes and no. Generally, they were called back to where they could use machinery, and they would actually have a machinist do it for them.
Okay.
So that way it would be precision. But yes, no one started off as a sniper in World War One.
Right.
You had to prove yourself by being a marksman and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Another thing is, and I'm sure that people are going to correct me in the comments and stuff like that, but just remember, I'm not going to be reading them. This isn't my channel. But like, a lot of this stuff is going to be interesting to see because an optic will not make too much of a difference. It's going to make it probably easier to aim a little bit than an iron sight, but it's going to be interesting to see how people play without the help of optics.
Right, so no more 20 or 40 times magnification scopes like you saw in Battlefield 4. Or at least I hope. I hope they don't do that. But, you know, it being alternate history, you never know.
And the highest I want to see is a 6x scope because that's the highest that was ever used. And that was really rare. Heck, even in World War II, that was rare.
Yeah. So, something else that I've seen another YouTuber mention, I'm not going to name drop because, well, you know, I don't want to do that. But there were some pictures going around Reddit and YouTube of dice, or not dice, but pictures showing the customization options for a gun. And you saw ACOG scopes, FLIR sights, all of that. You know, basically attachments from Battlefield 4 and 3. But here's the catch. On the bottom right, or bottom left, I mean, of the picture, you saw to access these weapons, you have to pay an additional $60. Few people actually were believing this and were chewing out dice going, oh my god, how can you do this? Well, it has been confirmed that these are fake pictures, and as far as DICE has said, there will not be modern attachments or guns. They are trying to keep attachments based to what they would be in World War One, which for bolt-action rifles would basically just be a scope and a bayonet. There really weren't many other things you could do, and even suppressors were rare in World War One. So.
In World War One, I can see muzzle compensators, or not really compensators, but like the Lee Enfield, not even a brake. The Lee Enfield got an attachment for its barrel because it would get jammed by getting dirt in the barrel. So it got, or something like that. So they made a barrel modification for it to where it could be used better in desert environments.
Okay.
And that became standard on the Mark III and Mark IVs. So, but that was kind of early World War One attachment. So I'm not, and it became a standard attachment. Like came out of the factory with it. So I don't think there's really going to be much like that. I think the main thing is going to be bayonets, and I really hope that you can choose when you want them on.
Yeah, well, you saw in the trailer an infantryman fixing his bayonet onto his rifle. I'm kind of hoping the same thing. You know, you can take it on and off whenever you want.
Yeah, because when I'm running around, it's something about, and I also hope they do this, and a lot of people don't realize, bayonets throw off a gun. A bayonet throws off the gun because of the way it recoils, stuff like that. It will actually make the bullet go not quite where the sights are lined up, unless you have like the Mazda gun, which was calibrated in the inventory of Russia to be shot with the bayonet on. And it was actually off if you had it off. However, for a majority of Western rifles, you would not have that. It would most of the time be calibrated. The sights would be sighted in for when you have the bayonet off. So I'm hoping that they add that in to where if you fix a bayonet, you won't be able to make those long-range shots quite as well as you would normally.
Right, you'd have to kind of do a little bit of a compensation to, yeah.
Either a compensation or the bullet will just go out kind of wildly, get like, a foot off, something like that.
Yeah, so up close it really wouldn't matter. It's like you said with those long range shots. What do you think, Blake? I know you're not much of a gun guy, but do you think that would be kind of fair?
Yeah, I could see it being kind of fair. Okay. I mean, I really don't have a lot to say about that.
Yeah. So let's go back to a topic that Blake would like, and really, there's really not much stuff to talk about Battlefield anymore, but there was something I noticed last night. while doing a little research on trailers. Got bored and I was looking up, Battlefield music just because I wanted to, and all the comments and all the videos I was watching was people did not like the music in the trailer for Battlefield 1. A lot of people were going, ooh, dubstep, no, 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 no. What are y'all's opinions on
I really didn't care for it. Like, it's the music for a game. It had the right feel for the cinematic trailer. I mean, if in my opinion, for the people that are complaining, let them pick the song and let's see how it would go. Like, I think people in their own right mind, when they become critics, think that they could do a better job at that. I mean, I don't look. I'm not even going to get into that.
All
I
right.
think I think the music they picked was fine. I didn't have a problem with it at all. I thought it fit. I
Yeah.
thought it fit.
I'm completely biased because I absolutely love the EDM group that did the song. I love Glitch Mob. They're one of my
Uh,
favorite composers. But Dexter, go on.
I'm not too big of a fan of electronic music.
Oh,
I'll
neither
listen
am
to it on
I.
occasion. I'm not. I do have to agree. It went with the trailer. It went very properly with the trailer, with the action pack that it is. However, I'm hoping that that's not going to be the kind of music that they insert. I kind of hope that they steer back kind of towards their 1942 stuff.
Orchestral.
Oh yeah, orchestral. I kind of hope that they revamp the 1942 song because that's probably my favorite Battlefield song. It's just the standard dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun 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 dun. Heck, I even learned how to play it on the trumpet. I really hope that they go back towards the instrumental side of it because that will just kind of fit with the game a little bit more. I can
Right.
understand like during an action scene they kind of go to the more EDM stuff like that, but for just like basic in-game stuff like that, I hope that they go with a more instrumental. However, for their trailer, I think it was a perfect choice.
Awesome. Okay. So, really, we've covered all the Battlefield stuff. So, Blake, you want to move on, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, before we move on, if you're a wrestling fan, be sure to tune in on Mondays. We go live from the Monday Night Review. Thursdays is next big thing. We cover NXT, and then on Saturdays, keeping it real, Blake and Kyle, we cover everything on wrestling on WWE. Saturday, we're actually going to be having a mock draft for the brand split. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss one of our shows. And obviously on Wednesdays, we have End Game. So yes, let's move on. No Man's Sky. You recently just, you kind of have a strong opinion. It got pushed back from what you were saying.
Yeah,
And
it got pushed back, but thankfully only 2 months. It is now set to do in August. August 9th is the date that they have down on Wikipedia, which I know Wikipedia isn't believable, but it's also on their website.
Okay,
I
this
don't
is
know
sad for me.
what.
I was really hoping for it to be on the 21st because that is my birthday. I was really hoping for that.
Well, the thing is, you know, I don't know if August 9 is set in stone. I know August is. He's already said
Yeah.
August is, plenty of time. But main topic I want to bring up. This is the first time I have ever seen this, and I don't know how I feel about it. The director, Sean, got his last name, sadly, has been getting death threats through Twitter, saying that if you don't release this game, he will either hunt you down or take your family and hold them for ransom. Now, his Twitter feed blew up with a lot of this, and a lot of people defending him, saying that, people saying this, giving out the threats, were selfish, and, let the man do his job. I'm on the side of the people defending him. Me and Dexter have a buddy online that works for a gaming company, and we have listened to him talk, and we know the stress of getting a game out. It's not easy. So just be patient. It'll come out, and I'm hoping it will be as amazing as the gameplay that has been shown.
All I have to say about that is as long as they deliver an amazing game, they can push it back another year for all I care.
Same here.
I
So
have a strong opinion on that.
go for it, Blake.
So here's my thing. We've had over the. I'm going to use this for example because they got Game of the Year. Batman Arkham Knight got Game of the Year.
Oh, that's a good name or a good game.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I'm going to go buy myself something at Starbucks. I'm going to be right back.
All right.
So look, Batman Arkham Knight got Game of the Year. That game got pushed back 3 times. It was supposed to release in November of last year, 2014. Then it got pushed back to February of 2015, and then pushed back again to June of 2015. I was very unhappy. I'm not gonna lie, I was unhappy, but I didn't go out and go, if you guys don't release it, I'm gonna kill you and I'm gonna take your family. I didn't do that. No, that's so dumb. For anyone that did do that, shame on you. They're doing their job. And here's the thing, and I've said this for about 3 games now. In both games, or well, I'm gonna say it for a third now. Both games that have come out have been a hit. First
What
game,
two?
Batman Arkham Knight. Colby can verify this. I told everyone.
Good game.
I told everyone, if they've delayed it 3 times, it's scary, but it's also smart because they're trying to make this game great. They don't want this game to be, well, we had to really rush it, so here's our final product. No, they wanted the final product to be great. So what am I getting at? I said the game will either be horrible or it will be the best game in the series. For that's at least Batman. It's going to be really great or really bad. Nothing in between. Colby, what was Batman?
It was great. The story was amazing. The plot twists were insane. The only downside is it didn't run well on PC, but I can understand it was designed for console primarily. So, too bad us PC folks. I'm a PC gamer myself. We didn't get a good port, but, Blake came over to my house. I know him in real life, in person, so he came over and we played it on my PlayStation, and it was fantastic.
Okay,
I loved it.
Next game I talked about, The Division. The Division, how many times did that game get pushed back?
It got pushed back for almost 3 years.
Okay.
Or at least 2.
Here's my thing. Ubisoft has never had a open world game like The Division. So people that are going to say, well, the game's really buggy. Well, you know what? Any game like that's going to be buggy. Any game that's huge and basically surrounded by multiplayer is going to have those bugs. So here's the thing. The Division, I said the same thing. It's either going to be hit or miss. And guess what? It was a hit. So to anyone that is saying that if you don't release this game, I'm going to kill you, I'm not going to buy the product. What they're doing is they're trying to perfect the game and make it where they're not going to have the day one issues of having, oh, well, I can't get into this planet. There's a glitch. I can't, I wish they would have fixed this. Man, they really should have pushed the game back more. Well,
they have.
That's
now,
what they're
so,
doing. They're
yeah.
making sure the game that when it releases, it's going to be a hit and make it where people are going to love it. So to anyone out there that is saying, man, all this, listen to what I just said about 5 times and then put it in your head. Let it process. This could be a hit or miss, and that is going to be my final say in that.
So more No Man's Sky news, or not really news. It's more of questions. And I've done some digging. I've watched some YouTube videos. I've read and I've watched interviews. People are asking, is this game online? Well, yes and no. Yes, it's online. Yes, everyone will be connected to one server. But here's the thing. Let me put it this way. Within 10 years of the game being out, there are only 0.1% of the star systems will be discovered. There are over 87 quintillion stars in this game. So yeah, everyone will be playing at the same time. But good luck finding your buddy. Good luck finding anyone other than AI.
Another thing about that is something that I found out through my own search for this kind of stuff. You're not going to be able to talk to anyone who's outside of a specific area.
Correct. It's going to emulate like a radio range.
Yeah, and even that, like if they're on the other side of a planet, you're not going to be able to talk to them.
No.
And you have to be out of hyperspace in order to talk to people. That's going to be really interesting.
No, I know. There's speculation. Something that I think the game's going to start as if you were started in Minecraft. You're going to have nothing but a basic, terraforming blaster that you can use to hit trees and stuff. And I believe you'll have to go around and get, different elements to trade for currency or even build your own thing. Now, you can't build your ships from scratch. You do have to buy your ships. But what I think you will do is take those elements, sell them for currency until you get enough, buy your first ship. So
okay, you're kind of getting into my thing right here. I actually know how it kind of starts off. I've watched all the dev stuff and stuff like that,
Oh,
you
go on
start
then.
off. You start off. There's no tutorial. There's no anything like that. You start off with a basic weapon. The weapons are used to mine. You blast the shit out of rocks and you go and pick them up. You go, and you start off with a very basic ship with no hyperdrive.
Oh, so you pretty much won't leave that star system for a while.
Yeah, but another thing is, like I said, there's no tutorial. Pretty much you spawn in. When I saw him, he spawned into a cave. He actually started up a whole new game. He started in a cave. He walked out of the cave. He had to walk a little bit. You had to follow a marker to your ship. When you got to your ship, congratulations, now you have a ship. Another thing is how I found out how you're going to die on planets in comparison to when you die in space. When you die on a planet, you lose all the stuff that you've gathered on the planet, and you respawn at your ship. So it's like you just landed.
Yes.
And then
or you go to a save point, which are checkpoints. I have watched that video you're talking about, Dex.
yeah, and then when you die in space, you go back to, like, what is it, the last station that
A
you're at,
space
or the
station
closest
or a
station?
carrier.
Yeah, and then you lose your ship, and what I heard, everything inside your cargo hold. So you just have what was on your player. So that
And you
means
start back with your basic ship.
Okay, you do start back with your basic ship. That was kind of still up in the air last time I looked
Well,
at it.
here's how he put it. He says your ship will have like a durability, and after so many times it dies, then you'll lose it permanently. Almost like anyone's played
Okay, I'm kind of sad about that. I was kind of hoping it was going to be like Eve. If you don't have insurance out on it, you're going to die.
no. Well, honestly, he hasn't said much. I don't think, like Dexter said, I don't really think he said anything. But what I'm hoping they do is, yeah, they could do like Eve. You know, Eve's a big enough game. Hopefully, any of you that watch will know what Eve is. If not, you don't insure your ship in Eve, you lose it, and you start back with.
No, you have to buy a whole new
Yeah,
ship.
you don't even start anything. You literally have
you
nothing.
get a pod. You get your pod.
Get a pod.
And if your pod dies, then you have to start a whole new character from like square one. He doesn't know any of your skills. He doesn't know anything.
That's
I'm
literally
glad they're
game
not going
over.
to do that. I'm glad they're not going to do that.
Yeah, they're not doing that.
But I am kind of hoping that you kind of have to keep some in reserve in order to buy a basic ship, so that way you can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So keep your eye out. No Man's Sky, August 9th. Hopefully, I have my fingers crossed. But I really, really hope so. I know Dexter's looking forward to it as well.
I cannot wait to see what's inside that black hole.
Look, Dexter, I actually have a question. You went and got coffee, or something from Starbucks. What are your thoughts on the whole people sending death threats to the developers?
Dude, they're pieces of shit. That's all I have to say. Pardon my French. I don't mean to curse on your podcast.
No, it's fine.
But
It's fine. It's not.
Okay.
I mean,
those are probably the lowlights of society that I don't think he has anything to worry about. I don't think those are the guys that will even do anything about it if he does
just
do
empty
it.
threats. But it's
Yeah.
just people are going to that level and just saying that. It saddens me to think that people do that.
I'll be right back. My coffee's ready.
All right. So, let's just do some idle chat while Dexter is going to get his coffee. Lucky bastard. I wish I had something right now.
I just have Coke.
I got water. So, No Man's Sky. I'm looking forward to it. Massive world. Like I said, within 10 years of the game's release, only 0.1% of stars will be discovered. That leaves 99.9% that will never be touched. That's insane. And people were asking, why have something like that? And his answer legitimately was, why not? I can do it. Why not? And I have the utmost respect for Sean Murray. I remembered his last name. I believe that's his last name. I think, he's very ambitious. He's trying something that a lot of other creators haven't really done. The closest game that I can think of that is like this, there's two of them. There is Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen. Those are the only two games that are going to be in the space kind of realm, or that are in the space realm.
The first-person space realm.
Yeah.
For that.
But really, there's not... No Man's Sky is going to be... I don't want to say this in a bad way, but it's going to be the Minecraft of space.
Something that I like is he set out right out front. He's not trying to compete with Star Citizen and Elite on the simulator thing. He's only competing with them on the endless world that he's created.
Yep.
He has purposely made this to be a more arcadey like game, more cartoony physics.
Oh yeah.
And that's something that really speaks to me because there's so much about this that people are trying to emulate and stuff like that. You can't emulate this because we haven't done it yet.
Exactly.
There's nothing to emulate.
Original.
This guy is just having a fun time with it, and it looks like he's having a blast making it. I think that tells us that we'll have a blast playing it, especially considering how there's only a very small team working on it.
I know. For a while there, I don't even think he had a team. I think it was just him and one buddy. At least now they do have a team.
Yeah, it's around 10, 15 people now.
Yeah. They're small enough to still be considered an indie title.
In fact, it was originally supposed to be released as an indie title for about $30.
Yeah, now it's a full, AAA title, which I'm excited for.
It's the start of a new brand. It's the start of a new series. I'm incredibly excited for them, and I'm incredibly excited to see what they come up with.
So, guys, like I said, keep your eye out for that. Blake, let's let you take the stage now. The next two topics are yours.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. We're not going to touch on it. We touched on this way too much on our first show. So basically, Dexter, you're not a big Call of Duty player, right?
Fuck Call of Duty.
All right. Colby, you're not either. So
no, I'm not.
Look, we have a video game that is so disliked that it has over 2,741,466 dislikes. So here is my question to you two, and this is all I'm going to talk about for Call of Duty. If you really want an in-depth of an opinion, go listen to End Game Round 1. Look, you guys are looking for a new title, and you guys like, oh, I've heard about Call of Duty, right? You go look at this video, and you see 2,741,466 dislikes. What do you think?
It's laughable. It's laughable that something can be disliked that much. And honestly, watching that trailer, I didn't get a Call of Duty vibe. I'll touch on what kind of vibe I got later because it'll be completely off topic. Dexter will know what I'm talking about, but the rest of you may not. So
There
I'm
was
just
a trailer?
going to carry on. Yes, there was a trailer. Dexter, pull it up and watch it if you want.
No, thank you. I don't want to. I think it's going to be comical, and I'm going to save it for later.
Look,
okay.
The only highlight in this trailer is the fact that we got to see Captain Price in the COD 4 remaster.
Yes, that's the only. I love the old Call of Duties. I don't like the modern. I don't like new Call of Duty. I haven't liked Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4. I almost said Battlefield 4. Wow. So seeing that it's being remastered, brought a smile to my face, and then I saw it only comes with the deluxe or whatever the special edition is. My heart sank. I lost all respect I had for Activision after that point. So, honestly, I couldn't care less what happens to Call of Duty in the future. It has left such a bad taste in my mouth. Dexter, what's your opinion?
I haven't liked the Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2, and actually, I kind of like the story of Modern Warfare 3 just because it wrapped up what was going on in Modern Warfare 1 and 2. But Call of Duty has just left such a bad taste in my mouth because I see guns that are performing way outside their RL boundaries. People will yell at me for this, but I shoot fully automatics in real life. I can tell you, it's not as cracked up as it to be. These fire rates are insane. These damages are insane. I even get mad at Battlefield for it. But the fact that Call of Duty is such a fast-paced game, it pisses me off so much that I go to a video game to relax. So I'll grab a sniper rifle in Battlefield, sit back, and Colby has seen me shoot. I
cross map.
Shoot accurately cross map. You can't do that in Call of Duty. And when they took away shotguns as a secondary for me because I was terrible with pistols, and I still am terrible with pistols in that game, I lost a lot of interest in it. And so I haven't even been paying attention to any Call of Duty past that. The only reason I would even play Modern Warfare 3 is because my brother had it. And so I beat it in 2 days and was done with Call of Duty.
I feel the same. The last Call of Duty I actually had fun with was the original Black Ops.
I'll tell you this. I think the whole adding on the deluxe edition is marketing wise is genius because you can't. It's remastered. You really can't just say, okay, well, we're gonna sell it for $69.99. We're basically just gonna add 2 games in one. You have to put a price tag on that. Um, you could say Halo Combat Evolved, but if you think about it, Halo or not Combat Evolved, the Master Chief Collection, but the first Halo is almost 20 years old, if it isn't already. The second Halo is really old also, which was remastered. The third Halo didn't get remastered. The fourth Halo didn't get remastered either. The only remastered games there were was the first one, which got remastered on the Xbox 360. But the Xbox One, they remastered the hell out of Halo 2, and it looked great. So I get why they're doing this because of the whole or the price because of it being remastered. But this is what I find funny. There's 2,741,466 dislikes. 90% of those people that disliked it are going to be buying the game.
I know. It is an incredible marketing act. And just to clarify something you said, Blake, Halo CE Combat Evolved is 15 years old. So, yeah, it's old.
I'm going to tell you right now, the only remastered games that I care about, I will like drop everything and go buy them instantly. I will pre-order them, do all that kind of stuff, and that's if EA remasters the original Battlefield Bad Company 1 and 2.
Oh yes, probably the greatest game
Getting
of
it
the
completely off
franchise.
the COD topic, but keeping on the remaster topic, the only thing I would like remastered right now would be Battlefield Bad Company 1 and 2. Just the story in that game is to be commended.
Oh yeah. So, I'm going to go a little more off topic. Dexter will understand what I'm talking about. Some of you may or may not. Dexter, the funny thing is, the thing that the trailer actually reminded me of for the new Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, you're going to laugh. It reminded me of all the MC groups in Second Life. All of the futuristic guns, the futuristic weapons. It legitimately made me think of the Alliance Navy.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Okay, it's that bad. Okay,
it's that bad.
For those who don't understand, me and Colby both play a game called Second Life. A lot of people will see it and see like dating and a lot of stuff like that. A lot of inappropriate stuff as well. But what me and Colby do are not that. We do combat and stuff like that. And there's this one group in there called the SL Alliance Navy. They're pretty much the scourge of the SL MC
Combat
groups.
community.
They use weapons that spam bullets as much as possible.
They're
That are turned up.
Let me put it this way: in other
They're
gaming,
cheaters.
it's like they turn on God mode in other games. So their guns have no recoil. 100-round magazines. It's just,
if that, most of them they're infinite.
And sometimes they're infinite. But what I'm getting at is the guns in Infinite Warfare just remind me of that so much. But off that topic, because, well, probably just confused every single one of you. So, Blake, you said you wanted to touch up on The Division.
Yeah, it's going to be small. I'm really not going to go into detail. Is The Division 1.2. I'm basically just going to give my thoughts. I was going to come in and read all the patch notes, but it's a week old, and if you're really interested in The Division, it's at the point where now you can look at the patch notes, or you already know about the patch notes. So I'll give my opinion on it. I know Colby's played a little bit of The Division. I don't know if Dexter plays or not, but
I do not.
So with update 1.2, we got the new incursion. We also got our new DZ bracket, and we also have the high value targets. Look, all I'm going to say is my thoughts on the incursion is it's perfect. I think that the fact that the problem with the first incursion was you had to survive 15 waves. Those 15 waves, you basically have to hide from an APC shooting a missile at you that would kill you in one shot. You also have to worry about NPCs coming in and attacking you. So basically, you're going to be stuck in one area of the map camping. So for 15 rounds, you do that, and it took about an hour. So it kind of got repetitive. With the new one, if you can do it flawlessly, it takes you around 15-20 minutes. And it's just, you can move around, you can do a lot. It's perfect. I think me personally, I'm not a big fan of the new gear sets, but I think the new incursion is is perfect. I think the only annoying thing I find on it is the mortars, but they're actually kind of easy to read. If you guys don't know, the mortars will basically go from on you, behind you, and then behind you again. So basically, the best way to get out of the way of those mortars is just to go straight, or roll straight, or go to left or right. Now the DZ bracket of a 201 plus gear score. I think that DZ 5 and 6 should be as hard as they are, but I think DZ 1 through 4 should not be as hard as what they actually are. As of right now, DZ 1 and 2, I'm at a point where I can actually do it by myself, and I can actually farm by myself. But 3 and 4 is basically impossible by myself. It's also very hard with teammates because the NPCs are so strong. I think they need to nerf those NPCs just a little bit, but from what I've seen, the developers are already saying they like it the way it is because of how hard it is. It makes you earn it. So it's in my opinion, it's like, okay, whatever. Now, high value targets is perfect for someone like Colby. Colby isn't someone who likes to do PvP a lot. He'll go into DZ a lot every now and then. But people that are PvE, you'll like high value target because it changes every week and it changes every day. Now, the weekly challenges give you really, really good gear, which is something that you could really only get by doing the incursion and by doing PvP. Now you have the chance of getting really good gear with a PvE on the high value targets every week, and then you have the dailies of earning Phoenix credits and etc. etc. Now, just to basically, end this real quick, if you want my final opinion, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give this a 7. I think, well, no, I'll give it an 8 because I think they did great. There's no bugs. The first update was awful with bugs, with exploits. This one, they fixed a lot of bugs, and I haven't heard of any big bugs in this one. Obviously,
to be completely honest, sorry, let me say something real quick, Blake. To be completely honest, I stopped playing The Division after the first patch 1.1 because it broke the game. To me, it broke the game, but this most recent patch fixed it. Everything I had a complaint about, gone. Now we'll be picking it back up, so definitely we'll be playing a lot more of it. Like Blake said, it fixed a lot. Sorry, continue, Blake.
I mean, that's really it. I was going to ask for y'all's opinion. You just gave yours. Dexter, obviously, you really don't play The Division, so give your opinion anyway.
Like, on The Division.
Well, I've been... Okay, so Colby, since you told me about The Division, at first I was completely against it. I was not a fan of it. I was not a fan of the play of the style of it. I am not a fan of MMO style games or not MMO, but just like RPG style games with guns. I've never really been too much of a fan of it. I play the Fallout series a lot. That's about as far as I go with that. I don't play very many MMOs or anything like that. But I started looking into The Division, especially after this last patch. And I've been seeing a lot of stuff that I liked. I've been watching a lot of YouTubers that I like start to get into it. And it actually looks like an interesting game that is captivating my attention and making me wish I had internet in my apartment to play it. I am very much interested in The Division now, and I have to say that it has turned me, someone who Colby can vouch for, someone who hated the idea of it and just would say no to it instantly, to someone who is now looking to hopefully buying it in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's really all we had to really talk about. We've went on for almost an hour now.
Yeah.
Really good topics. I want to thank, first off, I want to thank Dexter for coming on. We actually totally...
I was told 5 minutes before this started.
Yeah, this was last minute. I saw it was here in our TeamSpeak channel. We're using my my group of friends TeamSpeak channel. I saw him online. I'm like, wait a second. My buddy Tom, he was going to be our third voice, is sick. He sinus infection, coughing his lungs up and stuff. So we didn't want to ask him to come on. So
yeah, I would totally want to thank you. I mean, this was literally the last second.
This is winding down for the last second because it's 8:58, and Starbucks closes at 9 o'clock. So this is
All
perfect
right.
timing.
So,
Oh yeah, we need to close then.
all right. So before we go, be sure to hit that like button if you are enjoying what you are listening to. Also, subscribe. That way you never miss a show again. We cover wrestling, everything WWE, Monday nights with a Monday Night Raw review. We go live every single Monday. Myself, Kyle Lepore, and Andrew Bass. Thursday's next big thing. We cover everything NXT. Next week is NXT TakeOver The End. So also Saturday's Keeping It Real with Blake and Kyle. We have the brand split going on. We're actually going to have Andrew Bass as a special guest, and we're going to cover we're basically going to have a mock draft for everyone. And also, when WWE has a live event, we will be live with a prediction show and a results show. So be sure next Wednesday to check that out, because we'll be live for the prediction and after show. But also, follow us on Twitter at Realest Podcast, or twitter.com/Realest Podcast. Also, we're on Facebook with facebook.com/The Realest Podcast, or search The Realest Podcast. And for Colby Havard and Dexter, I'm sorry, I totally forgot your last name again, and I feel ashamed for it.
It's fine. It's not a normal last name. It's Willingham.
Okay, Willingham. So for Dexter Willingham, Colby Havard, I'm Blake Carter, and until next time, peace out.
Peace.